we need to talk about Miami Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa. And look, it's very clear. I do not keep it a secret. I'm a big fan of Tua. However, I also know that I've been very, very fair with the way I've covered him. When he screws up, I call it out. I'm very, very honest. I try to be as fair as I possibly can. And despite liking him as a human being, when he struggles on the field, got no problem pointing that out. And I have been patient. I have taken my time. And I've always tried to cover both sides. People who support Tua, and then also understanding the people who want Miami to move on from Tua. And when you listen and you learn and you understand the arguments on both sides, doing that has helped me pick a side here. Finally, I know what to do with Tua. And I got to be honest, it's ridiculous that Miami is considering moving on from Tua Tagovailoa. I cannot understand it. That's not true. I can understand it, but I don't think it's right. And we keep hearing rumors that Miami may trade for Texans quarterback Deshaun Watson. And it's really, really frustrating watching Miami consider giving up on Tua when they haven't really supported him properly. And man, I look at Miami. Tua is not the problem in Miami. Quarterback is the thing you got a problem with? On the list of things that are wrong with Miami, you say a lot of stuff before you finally get to, oh yeah, Tua could play better. The offensive line is awful. And the defense is dead last in the NFL. Play calling has been bad. There was a play, 3rd and 3 from the 32-yard line against Atlanta this past weekend. And they call basically it wasn't really a hitch. It was basically, hey, Mike Gesicki, run 6 yards, turn around, and post up. And both sides have the same route concept. It's not really a route. It's like a goal line fade, except you're not on the goal line. So I'm not kidding. Mike Gesicki ran 6 yards. Tua had to he had no, you watch the play. Tua has no real options on the play. Mike Gesicki turns and he throws him like a jump ball 6 yards downfield. I don't know what the heck that is. That's terrible play design. Or I watched an interception, was it 2 weeks ago, where it looked like Tua made a terrible throw, threw right at a defender. And I get it. If he's going to throw that ball, he should have put more air under it. But how many times have you watched Miami this year? I've watched it a bunch, and Tua has 2 receivers downfield. The run play action, he's got 2 options and a check down. That's it. And I'm like, what kind of play calling is this? You're not giving your quarterback a good chance to succeed that way. And Miami has a tight end, Mike Gesicki. I like him. They have Jalen Waddle in the slot. What Miami does not have is a true top receiver on the outside. So I look at what Miami has. Bad defense, bad offensive line, no true number 1 receiver outside. Tua is not the best quarterback in the NFL. Absolutely. But man, Tua has not been put in a position to do well. I watched the Atlanta game this weekend. Miami lost 28-30. Tua was 32 of 40 passing with 291 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. And yeah, Tua made 2 bad decisions all game. I admit that. Let's talk about the negative first. He got picked off both times he made a bad throw. He had an interception in the end zone, was trying to throw a corner route, safety sitting right there waiting. I don't really know what window he was trying to put it into. He's basically forcing a throw into coverage. You just got to take the underneath route that's open. That's a bad interception. Interception number 2, Tua is getting sacked. He's getting pulled to the ground. He's trying to do too much. He tries to throw the ball as he's getting pulled down to the ground. And as he gets hit, the ball goes high, it sails high, gets picked off. That's Tua, again, trying to force it, trying to do too much, trying to not take a sack there. Eat it, take a sack. Do not make a bad play worse by throwing an interception there. Especially, it was right after Miami got a big turnover. So it's a really high and then a really low. Tua is not perfect. I want to be clear. That's not the point here. But here's the good news about Tua. The mistakes he's making are fixable. I don't understand why people are so eager to give up on Tua rather than teach him how to play quarterback better. The guy's only started 13 games in his NFL career. By the way, he's playing with fractured ribs right now. And nobody seems to respect that fact at all. And against Atlanta last weekend, I guess this weekend, week 7, Tua led not 1 but 2 fourth quarter touchdown drives to give his team a 28-27 lead with 2 minutes left in the game. Tua did enough to win this past weekend, and yet still all we're hearing is They want to replace him. Now, the defense was the problem. The defense couldn't stop Matt Ryan at the end of the game, yet people are blaming Tua. And I understand why Miami wants to make a trade for Houston quarterback Deshaun Watson. I get it. It's not because Tua's bad. Tua's not amazing. And the argument I've always made is, well, maybe Miami doesn't like Tua's potential. He doesn't have a crazy big arm. He can't run for like 40-yard gains. However, neither could Drew Brees. And I think the best comp you can make with Tua is Drew Brees. It took a while for Drew Brees to figure out how to master the NFL. I don't think it's fair to criticize Tua for not mastering the NFL 13 starts into his NFL career. He's played 14 games total. He had one game where Ryan Fitzpatrick started. He came in at the end, was 2 for 2 with 9 yards. The reason why Miami wants to trade Tua away, or maybe trade for Deshaun Watson is a better way to say that. Miami's GM wants somebody to blame. Like, fixing your defense and your offensive line, getting a good play caller, getting a top receiver on the outside, all of that is hard work. God forbid somebody make actually good trades and draft good players. It's way easier to say, Tua's the problem, let's blame Tua. To me, it's a lazy general manager who would rather blame Tua than actually fix the real problems in Miami. The root of the problem is not the starting quarterback. That defense is awful. The offensive line is terrible. Go ahead, make a trade for Deshaun Watson. Like, off the field issues aside, that's a whole can of worms I don't want to get into. But Deshaun Watson cannot fix bad play calling. He can't fix the offensive line. He's a quarterback. Deshaun Watson cannot catch passes. He can't fix the defense. He can run better. He's got a stronger arm, runs around more. I think based on the allegations, I'm like, well, I'd rather have Tua as a human being. But again, innocent till proven guilty, I guess. It's uncomfortable to me. But here's what's weird. Does everybody forget that Deshaun Watson was on a bad football team last year in Houston? How many games did Deshaun Watson win last year? He went 4-12. So Deshaun Watson could not fix Houston last year, but yet he's going to go to Miami and win, apparently. Like, somehow, yeah, Deshaun Watson, not an offensive lineman, doesn't play defense, can't catch passes, but that's the solution. We just get Deshaun Watson and everything's fine. No, again, it's a lazy GM. The Dolphins are deflecting blame. It's a lot easier just to blame Tua. The reality is Tua gets better every single game I watch him play. Bit by bit by bit. And by the way, let's acknowledge Tua's in a position that's really hard to perform in. Like, how do you play well when all week all you hear is rumors that your team doesn't want you? They want to replace you. The pressure's on. And Tua, I thought last week, this past weekend on Sunday against Atlanta, pressure on, has 4 touchdown passes, puts his team in a position to win. Like, maybe it's better for Tua to get out of Miami. Like, let's rescue Tua and send him to, what's a team that needs a quarterback next year? Pittsburgh, for example. Can we do that? That would probably be better for Tua, to have a team that actually seems to want him and actually seems to want to build around him and give him a fair shot to succeed. How do you blame a quarterback when your defense is horrible, your offensive line is awful, like, your play calling sucks? Miami needs to fix their team, not replace Tua. And I've been quiet. I've taken my time. I have a Tua jersey in my closet. I have this shirt. I get it. I'm a fan. I like Tua. God forbid, I think he's an awesome human being. I live in Hawaii. I love his family. I like everything I've seen. I know people that know him. They speak really highly of Tua. I'm a fan of Tua as a human being. Yes. Do I criticize him when he makes mistakes? Absolutely. But I've listened and listened and listened, and I've tried to be fair, and I've tried to say, well, I get it, and I understand, and I do understand the perspective of replacing Tua. But I think it's a lot stronger argument to say, hey, sorry, but Tua's not the problem in Miami. And I've been sitting here thinking this for weeks, but trying to be fair, and I'm done. I'm done trying to make an argument for both sides. I've picked a side now. I do not think it's right to replace Tua. It makes no sense to me. And I just think that the root of this is that Miami has way, way bigger problems than their starting quarterback. I'm like, how can you not look at Miami and think, like, who looks at Miami and goes, oh, the quarterback sucks, he's the problem, when your defense can't stop anybody, your offensive line is horrible, you got no number one receiver, play calling's bad. I was talking to a pro quarterback the other day about the play calling in Miami, and he's like, yeah, he's not really given a good opportunity to succeed. So I've sat there, I've listened, I've waited, I've been patient, I've finally made a choice, and I just, again, Miami needs to fix their roster and fix their team, not replace Tua.